Yeah, for sure. Preseason was really good, really good. But toward the end, you certainly get ready to get back home, and I think we're all excited and anxious to get the season started. So there's big excitement in the group, and I think big anticipation for the possibilities.
So there's been some discussion about the altered shape. You talked a lot about it, or alternative shape, whatever you want to call it. And I didn't see the game against Jacksonville. Verone had 3. Were you playing a 2-front in that game, or were you in your system from last year?
We played some we started with 2 strikers, and we switched to 3, and then we switched back to 2. So, I thought the actually in that game the reason why we switched to 3 was to help cover some of the wide spaces, which was good. And then there's clarity now from when we play one way to when we play the next. So, I think, again, the goal is to just add complexity and add sophistication so that depending on what's happening from game to game, within the game, that we can do things to adjust to make it difficult.
So you could foresee within a game having some difficulty on the wing, and now you can adjust, and it's seamless.
Yeah, I think so. And the best part about it is you've got guys like Sasha, Mike, Grella, Gonzalo, even Brad, that can operate in different spots. So it means that even if we have a specific lineup on the field, it's really easy to alter things a little bit and still use guys in ways that help them be successful.
When you're playing that 2-front in those wide areas, you've mentioned already, what are the things that you're missing? Maybe some of the defending wide. What else changes in that system that you miss?
Well, it gives us, when we press and win balls, there are more options ahead of the ball. It gives, I think, the freedom for the 2 strikers to move in ways off of each other and combine. Certainly, we look to exploit the areas in the middle a little bit more when we have 2 strikers than when we have 3. We just naturally are occupying wider spots, so then you're able to find areas with the ball, and that means that you can sometimes defend a little bit easier without the ball with the 3. But we have ways built in to do those things in either system, but it becomes easier with spacing to do that with certain things wide with 3 than it does with 2.
Jesse, it's your first time playing it at home in the season opener for the Red Bulls since 2011, and last 4 years the Red Bulls haven't got a win in their season opener. Do you think playing at home will be a big advantage and help you get off the right foot?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, we love playing in Red Bull Arena. It should be a really good crowd. It should be an opportunity for us to start off the season in a really good way, but we also have a lot of respect for Toronto. They've made big changes this year. I think they've upped their talent on the field, so we know it'll be a big challenge. And certainly anytime you play Toronto, you have to talk about Giovinco, and we were close to them in preseason and saw them a lot, and Giovinco was really sharp in preseason. So that'll clearly be an emphasis, but we'll construct ways to deal with the game in general.
Do you have an update on Gonzalo's status?
Yeah, he's going to miss the Toronto game, but which is a bit of a bummer because he had such a good preseason. But we're really hopeful, and the thought is that we'll be able to get him back for Montreal.
How about any other guys? Is everyone else pretty much sharp, including Abong and everyone else?
Yeah, I think everybody's pretty much fit and strong and ready to go. So that would include Sean Wright and Abong and Zubar, and so we're just about at full strength except for Gonzalo, and then obviously waiting for Damien to get back. But we're fit, we're ready. I think everybody's anxious to get started.
You talked a lot of preseason about having to lean on depth. Is this already a good test on trying to get to your bench and see who can fit in?
Yeah, I mean, not really actually, because we have the complement of guys. Obviously, like I said, just with Gonzalo having such a great preseason and establishing himself within our team in a big way, it's a bummer for him. But I think we know we still have a talented team to put on the field, and we'll be ready to go after it.
When we've talked about the 4-2-2-2 and 4-2-3-1 and everything else, are you looking to go with more one set formation, or is it going to just change and could be something different week to week?
Yeah, it could be. Could be different week to week. I think it could. I think that'll play itself out a little bit. Like I said, I mean, it was great to have in the Jacksonville game to just make that little switch to deal with what we thought the game was giving us. So I really don't have a set agenda yet on exactly what that will look like, but I do think that we'll genuinely have great flexibility in our ability to use different players and in how we use them in the formation.
And you released one of your homegrown players last night. Can you just talk about that decision? And is he going to be a USL candidate, or will he be moving on to perhaps another team?
Well, Mael is, first of all, we were excited to have him here. We still are. We think he fits within how we do things here. When you start looking at the roster, you can't fit all the numbers in. If we could, we would. If this were like a different setup, then we might be able to include everybody. And the goal is still that even though the USL team is training over there separately from us, there's a lot of guys that I think are going to train with the first team this year, as opposed to last year where there were only a couple. So the best thing is just like, regardless of whether a guy gets put on the first team roster or the USL team roster, a lot of the young guys are going to spend a lot of time with the USL pro team playing games and training there. And there's a number of guys on the USL team that are going to spend time training with the first team. So it's really just a matter of where they get slotted in. That's the difference. And then obviously there's a financial difference. But the whole point is to put players in the development path that will help honor where they're at and help them grow according to what they need.
So it sounds like Mael's going to be going to the USL squad. Is that the hope right now?
Well, we're hopeful. That's been offered. I think he's also looking around. He goes on waivers, and then it's possible that another team can pick him up. So we'll see if that happens. Told him from the beginning that we'd support him, and no matter what. I hope he feels like this is his home and this is his family. But if he finds another opportunity, we'll be more than supportive.